Hello everyone, and welcome to another beer review. Now, this is another Wednesday video, because again it's a beer I'm not sure of. Under the new regime and rules, I have the whisky there just in case, and I will be getting more because I have a funny feeling I'm going to need a lot of whisky for a lot of Wednesday videos throughout this year, and maybe beyond. But today we're doing a beer that, well, I hope I'm wrong. But without trying to sound too kind of smart-arsey about it and that type of stuff, unfortunately, I'm very rarely wrong within these type of beers. I'm not 100% committed that this is going to be a bad beer, but I just have a little edge that potentially it could be, but I hope I'm wrong. And there's a good chance that I might be wrong with this one, so it's not too bad. So today we're doing the Loch Lomond Brewery, the Lost Monster Imperial Milk Stout, which again I like Imperial Milk Stout, and it's quite right because it's 8.4%, so it's in the right direction. But if I remember rightly, the Loch Lomond Brewery, I don't think it actually exists anymore. I think the Loch Lomond Brewery products are now made by the Cairngorm Brewery down near Aviemore. So I think that's it. Again, it's a 440ml can, which I don't understand why. I think this was £2.73 or roughly between £2.70 and £2.73. I'll put the details down below. And apparently it says Loch Lomond, iconic beers, iconic beauty. Imperial Milk Stout. Toffee and caramel aroma, chocolate, coffee and vanilla flavour. Vanilla? Not a natural flavouring you're going to get in stout. Smooth, warm finish. Unfiltered for maximum flavour. Keep chilled, drink fresh. And that's really it. Brewed and canned by Loch Lomond Brewery, Block 2, Vale of Leven, Industrial Estate, Dumbarton. So there you go. Maybe I'm getting confused. There's one of the breweries that's now basically made by the Cairngorm Brewers. Or maybe we've got the other way about. Maybe it's a Cairngorm Brewery that's now basically been done by the Loch Lomond. I'll put the facts down below. But I remember there was something round about between them two or something like that was going on. But yes, it's a product of Scotland, but apparently it's brewed and canned by Loch Lomond Brewery, but it's in Dumbarton, which is down near Glasgow. And if you were brewing beer all the way up in Ness, which is where Loch Ness is, then why the hell would you bring it all the way down the A9 and the M80 and all that kind of stuff to get onto basically Dumbarton? I mean, seriously, it's not an easy option. And they try to say there's no canning places in Edinburgh or some of these other places. Nah, I'm not buying that. Something's dodgy. Right, anyway, should we crack it open and see what happens? Here we go. Glass, can, pour. One thing I do notice about the new glasses, they're a lot more, well, they're a lot heavier. A heck of a lot heavier than the previous ones. The point is, I'm going to have to start beefing up. I'm going to have to start taking some more protein now. These buggers actually are quite heavy. Apparently it's toughened glass. So if I chib the wife and that type of stuff, it doesn't do any damage. It's a no finger head. It's black though. Got a slight smell of Bovril meets asphalt. Jeez, it doesn't even take it. You can get a sip there, and straight away I'm dropping the panties and going for the whiskey. Jesus Christ. It's never a good sign. Just, I'm smelling this thinking, Bovril I like, I don't like asphalt or tar macadam actually on the roads, but I've never thought, I'm going on my tongue, you know. Right. I've only got this as a, just in case. I'll enjoy it afterwards if I don't, you know, it won't go to waste, don't worry. This might go down the sink, but that definitely won't. It is. There's a kind of Bovril meatiness to this. And you know that kind of bitumen, that kind of smell, that kind of tail end smell you get from bitumen? It's got that kind of smell to it. You know, sometimes people refer to it as slightly burning tyres. Although saying that, I did actually have a beer. I was actually down in Dorset, just on the edge of Dorset, between Dorset and Devon. This is when I was living in Scotland. I ended up, remember the Sun used to do these kind of cheap kind of like weekends away in the caravan nonsense in the caravan sites. If you save up the tokens and it's something like $9.95 crap, it was done there. And me and my mate thought we'll do this for a laugh with the families at the time and we'll go down and do it. Well, with my partner and his family and things like that. And obviously we were living in Scotland at the time and we went for this and we ended up in this, I'm trying to remember the name of the caravan site, Newlands caravan site, which is just outside, I'm trying to remember, Bear Regis, is it Bear Regis? Anyway, it would be some of that, it's along that way anyway. And the Newlands campsite, and they basically, I don't know, but they must have a local brewery to make a beer for them, and it was called Newlands Bitter. Oh my god, it was bad. It really was bad. It just basically, it smelled and tasted like burning fucking tyres. It really did. It was absolutely dreadful. It really was. I would easily say it was one of the worst beers I've ever had. To the point it was so bad that we're actually baiting each other to see, you know, could you take a sip and hold it? So this was the case. We were actually basically challenging ourselves to try and basically take a sip and hold it for as long as you can before swallowing it or spitting it. It was really that bad. Ah, Jesus, it was really bad. Right, shall we see what it tastes like? I'm looking at the whiskey thinking, I could drop this. It's a heavy glass. Alright then. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh. Oh, Christ. Oh my God. Right, I know it's supposed to be an Imperial Milk Stout. Well, it's sweet enough for a milk stout. Oh, it's lactosed off its tits, this one. But you imagine if you basically took half a litre of milk and put in, I don't know, maybe 50 ml of vodka, and then kind of drink it. You get that kind of the slight sweet edge of the milk, and then you've got this vodka. There's nothing sweet there apart from, and there's nothing else you've added, but it's just that, it doesn't go because you've got that kind of slightly kind of lactose feel to it, and then you've got this alcohol feel to it, and the two of them just don't mix. It's like, it feels like a bit curdly in your mouth. But what I'm getting is the kind of slightly bitumen. Actually turns out to be the vanilla. The vanilla is just so false in flavour, it's unbelievable. It actually makes vanilla extract taste natural, which, trust me, it isn't. And this is even worse. And just the way the malt is and how it's with the alcohol and the lactose, That's what's giving me the slightly kind of beefy, meaty vibes. That's what's giving me the meaty vibes. So it is because, again, obviously Bovril, it's not really beef though, it's kind of beefy kind of type, but it's yeasty. And this is what this is like. It's kind of slightly kind of malty, grainy, yeasty, and that's what's giving me the kind of meat vibes. And then the kind of burning tires is this horrible fucking kind of false, fake vanilla. So I wasn't wrong, unfortunately. Damn. You know what gets me? Is when you bring it up to take a sip, you can't help but just take a little, you always catch a little bit of the aroma. And bloody hell, that just sets you up for it. It's like, oh God. That's stinking. That really is absolutely stinking. Fucking hell. Why? There's a bit of chocolate. I'll give it that. There's a little bit of chocolate in this. But again, it's not helping because... I'm just kicking the camera stand there. It's not helping because it's adding to the effect of the meatiness. Really, really not nice. I'm out, fucking hell, no. Can you have that up your fuck's sake. That's not bad. I bought them, because the last beer I did, it was dreadful and all, I ended up in the whisky. I bought them at the same time in Asda. And bloody hell, seriously. No, needs a bit more actually. This is a taste that's going to require a little bit more work. Oh, there we go. That's better. Other whiskies are available, and there's a good chance that if I keep buying shitty beer like this, these ain't going to last long either. That's it, Daddy. Yes. So, break down these flavours. There isn't much to break down. Because it gets you right at the front of the mouth. Right at the front of the mouth, you're getting this kind of meatiness because the way the lactose is, the alcohol content, the roasted grain, and the little bit of obviously malt that's there. And yeah, it's just giving you a horrible, horrible, horrible kind of Bovril-esque kind of flavour profile. And then when you move over to the mid-tongue, that's where this false vanilla kicks in, and that's where you start getting a kind of slightly kind of asphalt bitumen kind of, or kind of light flavour profile. And when these two flavour profiles kind of mix and meet in the mid-tongue, it really is horrible. Absolutely horrible. And yeah. And when the two kind of get together, it just kind of deteriorates to the kind of back of the mouth where it all kind of finally stops torturing you, basically. It's a fairly quick finish, but for me still not quick enough because it's still torture even with the speed it buggers off at. And it buggers off fairly quickly, but trust me, if it should have been really buggering off in the front of the mouth, not at the back of the mouth. Because at least if it did that, then I'd miss out in the mid-tongue frivolities. Christ, that's just unbelievable, really. Oh my God, why? Why would you do this? For what reason? I've just noticed something. When we're talking about going from Inverness, why would we go from Inverness if it's Loch Lomond? I'm getting confused with the Loch Ness. Brewery. That's why it's not making any sense to me. Well, no, if it's Loch Lomond, no wonder it's going to Dumbarton for fucking canning and everything else, you silly bugger. I'm getting confused between and the Cairngorm Brewery. Yeah, because the Cairngorm Brewery is basically making beers that were formerly made by the Lomond Brewery before it went into trouble and it was bought over by the Cairngorm Brewery. That makes more sense. But the Lomond Brewery, well, I don't really know much about the Lomond Brewery, but I will put some facts on below. But if this is a standard, then don't expect to see many of this brewery's beers on the channel. But yes, now I understand why, because I just get that epiphany there thinking, oh, it's Loch Lomond. Loch Lomond. We're just along the road from Dumbarton. Jesus. God, I'm doing well today. I'm glad I'm on. See what happens, see? You're going to go in the whisky to get clarity, you see? A bit of, get the thinking straight with a whisky. You're probably all sitting there watching at the time, screaming into the screen, yeah, you arsehole, what are you talking about Loch Ness and Harveymoor, you numbnuts? It's fucking Loch Lomond. And you're absolutely right. Well, at least I'm honest. So I always do these in one take. So what you see is what you get. So at the end of the day, apart from basically putting a title at the front of it and just kind of ripping off the back end to give a finish and that type of stuff. So I'm saying, cheers and bye for now, and then it just get a little pause, and that's where I cut it off, you see. That's it, you see, that's how I do it. So everything in between, whether it's right, wrong, or just completely bloody stupid, then it stays in. Unless it's a C word, that's the only thing I do, because people don't like the C word. Because they get very offended by it, which I actually want to use it quite a lot, actually, just for that reason, because it offends people. But apparently some people just say, just beep that one out. I'm like, okay. And here's the thing, see, in normal life, I don't actually really swear or really do that much profanity. But it comes out when I've paid good money for shitty beer and it annoys me, and that's when the profanity comes out. It's just like, oh no, I'm not going to watch my P's and Q's. I'm not going to hold back, because at the end of the day, this is my money. I've paid for it. I'm kicking off on it. You know what I mean? And I'm quite entitled to do that. Just like if you were sitting at home and somebody basically, you go out and buy a new beer and you come back and you think, what the fuck is that? Seriously, that's fucking hellish. Like a lot of normal people do. I'm just a sad person that basically does it in front of a camera. Because let's be totally honest, I'm a guy who's sitting here drinking by himself, talking to himself, which is bad enough. But you're the ones sitting there watching. So I think we're all nutters. There you go. So, out of 10, what would I give this? Well, as you can see, there's not really much use to this anymore, unless you're going to melt your own cans to get the aluminium out of it, and maybe start casting your own aluminium for some strange reason. Because that's all you could really, but you're going to need a hell of a lot, because there's not really much weight in this, so if you melted this down, you're not really going to get much for the energy you've used. You're going to have to start saving up your cans. And then it's a case as though not all cans are like this. A lot of them are painted and everything else, which basically means you've got more impurities that you're going to have to skim off, which means your weight's going to go down, and of course all your effort's going to be even more. So let's be totally honest, there's no real value in that. And it's used, so there's even less. So you can't even get a point for the can that you would for the bottle. And look at this beauty. What do you think I should give this? What do you think this should get? Yep, you're absolutely right. I can hear you from here. 0. Get up here. Absolutely right. It's absolutely dreadful. I certainly wouldn't recommend it. I certainly would not buy it. Right now I'm sitting here wishing I hadn't bought it in the first place. But I certainly wouldn't recommend it. I certainly wouldn't buy it again, and I certainly would not be drinking it. It's got an appointment with a sink, just like this has got an appointment with a recycling bin. And that's the best I can do out of it. So 0. That's 2 in a row, and they were both bought at the same time. Because the last one we did was the sticky toffee pudding piss from St Ives Brewery. That was a horrible stout as well. So that's 2 stouts in a row, 2 Wednesdays in a row, 0 out of 10. Now you see why I'm going on to the whisky. So anyway, it's 8.5%, it's a 440ml can. Oh sorry, 8.4%, it's a 440ml can. It's roughly about £2.73. It's absolute rubbish. Don't bother going near it. Cheers. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.